Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the K-Man 1971 back with my year-end comic book haul. Wow, 2021, another year in the books, man. Crazy. Flew by from a comic book collecting perspective. So this haul will pretty much consist of my usual mix of some bronze, some keys, some variants, some cheap spec, some first appearances, and some overall just some cool stuff that I wanted for my PC. All right, so let's kick it off with what I think is my favorite cover of the year. Yes, we've all seen the Spider-Man #1 homage before, but never done with Batman, which makes it awesome. Love the trade dress, love the DC bullet on the cover, and I love, for the first time, having a writer on the title that's more concerned with the protagonist and actual story than just basically writing for a speculation market and just creating a bunch of new characters. So it's great that my favorite title is back to being my favorite title again. All right, moving on into the back issues. Here's Doctor Strange #46 from his second ongoing volume. And this is the first in continuity appearance of the Necromancer, the evil Doctor Strange. Shout out to, who was it? Oh, God. I forget who ended up showing this book, probably about like 3 or 4 months ago. But I ended up picking it up for a couple of bucks, and it's going for like 2025 now. Not going to get into the why right now because it's still pretty fresh, but we pretty much all know. And I haven't seen the movie yet either. So, that internet, huh? So, moving on, one thing that I am up to date on is Hawkeye. So here's Hawkeye #7, which is the first appearance of Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mom. And I have to say, like, I was kind of just watching the like, don't get me wrong, I was getting some entertainment value out of the show, but compared to like Loki and WandaVision, it just wasn't really on par with that. But the last 2 episodes have got me all in, baby. Whoo, can't wait for that season finale. Thunderbolts #128, a book that's kind of taken off a little bit as of lately. This is, well, if you look online, this is advertised as the first appearance of Yelena Belova, the second Black Widow, in the Thunderbolts. And, but unfortunately, it's just actually Natasha Romanoff posing as Yelena in this story arc. So, 128 is advertised as the first appearance of Yelena Belova in the Thunderbolts, but it technically isn't. But she does make her first official appearance in this issue, #136, on the very last page. So, shout out to, I believe, Rena Comics did a Yelena Belova speculation video, which I thought was pretty cool. So, as he said, to reiterate what he said in his video, if you can find these books on the cheap, that's great, because who knows if she'll even become a member of the Thunderbolts. But on the cheap, very cool to own, and some great Matina covers, too. Here we have Avengers #350, which is the beginning of the Cersei Black Knight romance. Yes, romance. So I still haven't watched Eternals yet. I'm just waiting for it to debut on Disney Plus next month. So looking forward to it, though. What If #20, getting into a little Spider-Man stuff right here from the 90s. This is just one of those what if issues that I've always wanted. What if the Amazing Spider-Man had not married Mary Jane? We're living through it. Here we have Spider-Man #52 and #53, which is Scarlet Spider versus Venom story arc, which in the 90s, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, but now, as time has progressed, I'm like, yeah, I do want to kind of see a Scarlet Spider and Venom throwdown. And I always also like to pick these up. Marvel Milestones. So this is the Marvel Milestone edition of Amazing Spider-Man #149. The first appearance of the clone, a.k.a. Ben Reilly. I have a really nice copy of the original #149, but I always like to have these reprints around just when I get the urge to want to crack it open. All right, let's move some of these out of the way. I'm also looking forward to the John Cena Peacemaker series that will be debuting on HBO Max, also, I believe, in January. So I think this might be the first appearance of Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. It's no big deal, but only, once again, less than $2, so I picked it up. Also in the same long box. This doesn't go for anything, but this is a story arc that I've wanted to read. This is Suicide Squad #34, and come on, you have Amanda Waller throwing down with Granny Goodness in Apocalypse. On Apocalypse, I mean, I've always wanted to read the Suicide Squad story by John Ostrander that sends the Suicide Squad over to Apocalypse. Only found one issue so far, so I'd like to grab the rest of them and read the arc at one point. It's supposed to be one of their best ones. The Green Lantern Corps, number 201. Of course, as we all know now, this is the first appearance of Kilowog, and a spec book for that upcoming Green Lantern Corps or Green Lantern show that will be coming to HBO Max someday. I don't know. This is also like an end of an era for me, because this is the last dollar book that I can see myself showing anytime soon. Like, all of the dollar bins have dried up in my area, so that's why there haven't been any more dollar bingers from the Fringes videos, or very little dollar bin books that I'm showing in my videos anymore, because it's just traditional, like, 90s image schlock that's in there right now. Marvel's 90s stuff, or DC, just bad 90s. Moving on, I ended up picking up a bunch of vintage, going on classic Wolverine covers. So this is my second copy of Wolverine number 17, newsstand, classic John Byrne, and I also ended up picking up another copy of the direct edition. All from the same store. Ended up picking up my second copy of Wolverine number 23, another John Byrne classic, and my first copy of Wolverine number 24, Jim Lee. Beautiful Jim Lee cover. I've been kind of on a Jim Lee kick as of lately. So, move these out of the way. I also picked up some low print run Conans. So Conan the Barbarian, number 270, 271, 272, and 273. So that'll give me the last, like, 6 issues of the Conan Barbarian series from Volume 1. I've been kind of just focusing on the run that I've been collecting, which is basically number 1 to number 115, the original Roy Thomas run. But when I found all these, like, end of the run issues for only a couple of bucks a piece, I could not leave them there. Okay. It's been far too long since I've had any Dave Stevens in one of my hauls, so Rocketeer Magazine, number 1, and number 2, still need number 3, and I also upgraded my copy of Pacific Presents number 1. My copy was probably like VF minus to Fine Plus, and this one is like a nice, I don't know, near mint to near mint minus copy. Love it. Love that Dave Stevens artwork. And I guess there is a rumor that there will be a Rocketeer reboot happening. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Disney Plus series or movie or, released to the theaters. But either way, I'm looking forward to it if it's done well. All right, some Star Wars at my new honey hole, where I've been picking up some Star Wars sparsely, but it's not as good as the Never-Ending River from my old honey hole. But they do have some newer modern stuff, which wasn't available to me at my other place. So here we have Darth Vader, number 8. This is the character variant of Ochi of Bestoon, who is one of these newer Star Wars characters that I really like that was created by Marvel. Best new one since, I'd say, Dr. Aphra, in my opinion. And I also picked up War of the Bounty Hunters, number 1. This one was only $10, and this was I think $7. I can't pass up a sweet Star Wars variant, especially this one, Boba Fett variant with the Bounty Hunters, done by Lionel Francis Yu. Love it. So very nice. Also from the same store, Teen Titans number 45. I paid like $4 for my other copy that I bought earlier in the year, but this one was like $7, and this one's like very fine plus. So really happy to upgrade that. Didn't take me long. Peter Parker, number 22. This is my second copy, and this is the first meeting between Spider-Man and Moon Knight. Very nice. Some nice Bronze Age right there. So those were all the books that I picked up in the wild, and with the exception of with the exception of these books right here, all the rest of them were between that $2 and $5 range, and these are all like between that $7 and maybe like $15 range. So these last couple of books were the books... Oh, actually, I'm lying. This is the last book that I picked up in the wild, and it's a big one, too. The Real Ghostbusters, number 1. First appearance of the Ghostbusters. My love for 80s nostalgia. This was love at first sight, when I came across this in a long box. And this is another book that I guess has really shot up over the course of the past year. All right, so that was the last book that I bought out in the wild. for this run. So these last 4 books will be my eBay purchases. Here we have Captain America number 137. Had a copy of this at one of my shops for like maybe $70. I ended up paying like $40 for this one. And this is the first meeting between Spider-Man and the Falcon, which is really cool. And it's an old school Bronze Age throwdown. So love that stuff. So if you get 137, you have to pick up 138. And this one was around like $20. So I can't really complain. They're both in like, this one's probably VF minus condition, and this one's a straight up VF. So love that. Love those covers. Also picked up, this was, I want to say, around like $20. Black Panther number 1. And this is the first appearance of Okoye, as well as the Dora Milaje, which I don't know. I pretty much put this on my list when I was watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about them. So and I actually wanted this book when the original Marvel Knights reboot happens, but I missed out on this one, and I missed out on the Black Widow initially, so had to pay a little bit more later on. So, and last book, and the big book of the haul, Batman and Robin number 1, the Jim Lee sketch cover RRP, I believe, variant. So this one has been on my list for a while. There are a couple of other Jim Lee sketch covers that are also on my list that I will be hunting down next year, or I've already started to hunt some of them down this year. So this will be it for this year for me, my last haul. I'll be back sometime before the end of the year with my top 52 pickups of the year. And yeah, that's it. Another fun year of collecting. And looking forward to next year. Next year will probably be, the last couple of years for me, I've been really focused on Star Wars, and I've done I've wiped out quite a bit of what's on my list. So next year it's probably just going to be more of the same of some cheap spec books, first appearances, more hunting out in the wild and less online, definitely. No really big books on my list whatsoever. I'm really into some like Bronze Age mining. A lot of the Bronze Age has been drying up in my area, so I want to kind of scrounge as much of that as I can. And currently I'm working on my Conan the Barbarian and G.I. Joe runs. and buying some Jim Lee stuff, so which you'll be seeing later on down the road. So thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. I wish everyone out there a happy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas to all that partake. And I'll see you all before New Year's, all right? So until next time, take care. See ya.